Hello, this is the SOP for dialogue with NPCs. The first thing I want to talk about, of course, is the NPCs themselves. In order to create an NPC, you need to obviously have a mesh for them that I'm not going to cover in this SOP. However, I will talk about the component. You need to, in order to create an NPC, you need to first off, of course, have that skeletal mesh. Then you need to add this component com npc new. You can do this by clicking add and then typing com npc and then checking the new com. This is the old component for the NPC. Please do not use this. Once this is added to whatever mesh you have, then there are a couple of variables that you need to initiate in here. So to start off, let me reset this. So when you first initially have this open, it's going to look like this. We're going to have data dialog new in both of these here. What you want to do, the easiest way, if you look in data dialog new here, we have these different dialogues. We are going to select the row name for the dialogue that we want. So in my example, I have made Rosa test 1. I am going to go to the NPC and I'm going to select Rosa test 1. Now, this is if you want that to be the dialogue that the NPC plays always. If you want the NPC to play a dialogue and then change to a different dialogue, say you have one specific dialogue and then you want to change it to another dialogue, you would use initial dialogue down here. So similarly, we have this test 2 and the test 1. So for my example, I want test 1 to be the initial dialogue, and I want test 2 to be the persistent dialogue. So if I go to dialogue new here, if I look at dialogue 1, I have, this is a test for Rosa. I've got the speaker here, Rosa. I also have the NPC name. This is important for later on. We talk about changing dialogues. So we've got, this is the initial test for Rosa. We've got speaker, Rosa, and please activate the green cube, speaker, Rosa again. If we want to have all of these dialogues be the same, then we will enter in the speaker override here with the name that we want to override. So for example, if I have in here, if I put Malik and then I put Claire here, or if I put nothing, because I have changed the speaker override to be Rosa, these will both say Rosa. So if I save this and go into here, what you will see is if I speak with Rosa, you'll see it will still say Rosa, even though in here I have the speaker set to Malik. It will automatically override it to Rosa. If I do not have that in here, you will see when I interact with Rosa, it will say Malik is talking. And then if I have no speaker, it won't display a speaker at all. So that is the dialogue here. In order to make a new one, you add a new row and you say, start out with who is speaking, just by convention, underscore. You want to say then what you want the content of it to be. In my case, I am going to be making another test dialogue, and I'm going to number it 3. If we have multiple different of a specific thing, we should number it like so. Once again, I am going to set the speaker here to Rosa. Then I am going to, over here, say, thank you for activating the green cube. If we have a voice line or a sound bite for it, in here we will be able to select a sound wave for the dialogue. For now, we do not have any, so I am going to leave that. I am also going to set speaker to Rosa. So that is setting up an NPC in the space. Is you have whip dialogue, and you have the persistent dialogue and the initial dialogue. If I go over to this cube here, I am going to start out actually by saying with this cube, and I will go over the quest system later, but if I add the com underscore interact dialogue change, and select it. If I go to defaults, it will say what dialogues to change. This is an array. So if you want the same thing to affect multiple different dialogues. So in my case here, I just want to select Rosa test 3. Note, I do not have to select the NPC I want to change, because the NPC in here is already set to have the NPC name set to it. So because I have set Rosa test 1 or Rosa test 2 to this NPC, this interact dialogue change is going to automatically be able to find the correct NPC in the scene to change the dialogue because of, again, the NPC name here. This is why it is important to put the NPC name in each of these. Also of note, the pop-up that says Speak with Rosa also uses the NPC name for this purpose. So if I speak with Rosa, it will say this is the initial test for Rosa. Please activate the green cube. I am going to quickly speaker override this again so that it says Rosa. But if you look, I speak with Rosa, it'll say this is the initial test for Rosa. Please activate the green cube. And now if I talk to her again, it will just say please activate the green cube. Because in my test 2 here, all I have is the one dialogue that says please activate the green cube. So I've got the initial, which has this and please activate the green cube. And then I have the persistent, which is the please activate the green cube. And then now I have this thank you for activating the green cube. On here, I have Rosa test 3. So when you interact with this, it will change the dialogue for Rosa. So if I go into here, speak with Rosa, this is the initial test for Rosa, please activate the green cube. And if I repeat talking to her, it will always say that second persistent dialogue. I come over to the green cube, I interact on it, and then I speak with Rosa again. It says, thank you for activating the green cube. And now that is the persistent dialogue. One more quick note is that with this interact dialogue change, I have this Boolean here that says permanent change. If I click this to false, then the dialogue that is changed on Rosa, so it says the initial and then please activate green cube. If I then activate the green cube while it's on the temporary, or it is not permanent change, and speak with Rosa, it says thank you for activating the green cube, and then if I speak to her again, it says please activate the green cube. If I want this change to be permanent, I will just have this set to true. It is default to true. So now if I talk to her, it says please activate the green cube. I interact with it and talk to her again, it says thank you for activating the green cube. And then if I speak to her again, it will say thank you for activating the green cube again, because it is a permanent change now. Note that this will be the same for every dialogue change in this array. So if you want to have multiple, you would go com_interact dialogue change, and then you would tick this to off, and then set whichever you want for the temporary change. Note that temporary changes in this play first, whereas normal permanent changes play after the temporary change. One last thing of note for the NPC system is if we go to Content, Data, and Data Speaker, in here we have the row names and a color associated with that speaker. This is what will display the speaker's color as. You will note that if I talk to Rosa, her name is blue. If I want to change this, I go to the data speaker, I select the Rosa name, and I can adjust the color accordingly. Now when I go in and talk to her, her name will be that color. To create a new speaker as a part of this, all you do is you add, rename the row to whatever the speaker's name is. This row name, and therefore speaker name, is associated with this part of the dialogue of speaker. And if you have obviously the speaker override, it will override all of these dialogue speakers to be that name. So this, if this is named as Rosa, then it will be using the Rosa color to display the name Rosa. So in the case I would want to get receptionist, I would rename this row to receptionist, and then change the color for this. If there is no speaker, then there will not be the speaker text displayed. If no speaker is in this, if a speaker is selected that is not a part of this data, it will use the default color here at the top, which I have set to white. And that is it for the NPC dialogue system. Thank you for watching.